This is a video about a really nifty trading indicator known as trend channels with liquidity breaks by ChartPrime. It's a tool that you can use to quickly spot and visualize support and resistance channels, and it even helps you see when price breaks out of these channels. We're going to go over what this indicator is and how you can use it in your trading. If you happen to find value in this video, remember to leave a like. Now, to get started with this indicator, you first of all want to go to TradingView, the trading platform that I'm going to be using. If you need to sign up, there's a link in the video description for you to do that. Next, you want to load up any chart you like, say for example, the S&P 500 on the 1-hour time frame, and then you click on Indicator, then type in Trend Channels with Liquidity Breaks. It's going to be this one by ChartPrime. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the all-powerful Trend Channels with Liquidity Breaks indicator. It's designed to automatically identify and draw these channels for you based on pivot highs and lows, making it way easier to see the dominant trend and potential areas where price might react or break out with significant volume. So, when you load this onto your chart, you'll see these channels pop up. The main components are the channel lines themselves. The upper bound, which often acts as resistance, will usually have a greenish hue, and the lower bound, acting as support, will typically be red. The indicator description mentions the upper lines could be light and dark green, and the lower ones light and dark red, with those outer zones being stronger areas of support or resistance. There's also a dashed center line, which represents the midpoint or the balance point of the channel. And super importantly, this indicator highlights breaks of these channels, especially when there's notable liquidity or volume involved. You'll see these little tags like LV, MV, or HV, which stand for low, medium, and high volume breaks, giving you a clue about the strength behind a breakout. Next, let's dive into the settings, because you can tweak this indicator to your liking. When you open up the settings panel, likely labeled Trend Channels ChartPrime, you'll first see the Inputs tab. Right at the top, there's Length, which is set to 8 by default. This basically adjusts the look-back period for constructing the channels. A higher number might give you longer-term channels, while a lower number could show more short-term ones. Below that, Show Last Channel is usually checked, and this just means it'll only display the most recent channel, which can help keep your chart looking clean. Then there's Wait for Break, which is also checked by default. This setting likely influences how and when the break signals are plotted, ensuring the indicator waits for a confirmed break. Extend Line is an option you can check if you want the channel lines to project further into the future. Volume BG is another interesting one. If you enable this, it can shade the channel zones based on the volume detected within them, which could give you another layer of insight. You'll also see color pickers here, usually for the up, neutral, and down channel aspects. By default, you might see green, gray, and red. And finally, Inputs in Status Line will show the indicator's main input values up in the status line of your chart if you keep it checked. Then, if you click over to the Style tab, you've got a few more visual options. Pane labels will show labels related to the indicator in its pane. Line Fills controls whether the area between the channel lines is filled with color, which can make the channels really stand out. And Lines simply controls the visibility of the channel lines themselves. For most folks, the default style settings are probably good to go, but it's nice to know you can customize them if you want. So, once you're happy, you just click OK. Now let's talk about how to actually use this indicator in your trading. The core idea is that these channels, built from pivot highs and lows, help you visualize potential support and resistance zones. So when the price is in an uptrend, the lower line of the channel can act as a support level where you might look for buying opportunities. Conversely, in a downtrend, the upper line can act as resistance for potential short entries. As price goes deeper into the channel, like into the outer light red zone in a downtrend, it can experience higher buying pressure to return towards the center. For instance, if the price dips into that lower light red zone and then shows a strong reversal, that could be a great spot to consider a buy. The same logic applies to the upper green zone, acting as major resistance. That dashed center line we talked about? That's pretty useful too. It acts as a kind of equilibrium or balance point for the market within the channel. So, price might react to it, or you could even use it as a potential area to take profits. But one of the really cool features is how it handles breaks of these channels. When the price breaks out, The indicator can show you the volume behind that break using those LV, MV, and HV tags. An HV tag, for high volume, on a breakout suggests there was a lot of conviction and supporting pressure behind that move. This could make you more confident that the trend might be changing or that the breakout is legitimate. On the other hand, an LV tag, for low volume, doesn't mean you should ignore the break, but it might suggest you should be a bit more cautious, as there wasn't a huge rush of buyers or sellers driving it. The official description also notes that high volume zones within the channel bands, if you enable volume BG, can signal strong buying or selling pressure, potentially leading to breakouts or trend confirmations. So, using these volume-confirmed breaks can really give you an edge in spotting true trend changes. In summary, the Trend Channels with Liquidity Breaks indicator is a fantastic tool for automatically drawing and visualizing trend channels. It helps you identify potential support and resistance, understand the balance point with the center line, and, crucially, it highlights channel breakouts with an indication of the volume behind them, which can be super helpful for confirming your trade ideas. It's all about making trend and breakout analysis more intuitive. Now, please remember, this is not financial advice. The strategy ideas discussed here are based purely on how this indicator works, and for any real trading, you should always add your own price action analysis, fundamental analysis, or other confluences. Never trade based on a single indicator alone. If you found value in this video, remember to leave a like, or even better, consider subscribing to stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. See you next time.